What is up, guys? We are back with another NFL Daily. Happy Monday here. I'm in New York. I'm traveling. Clearly, we got a nice, pretty virtual background. You guys can check it out. We do have the Neil picture showing up for us. If you guys have been on Twitter, you know that has been a meme that has been rolling around for a while. But we've got some NFL action to talk about today. We've got Shedeur. We've got playoff picture. AJ Brown. We've got Kansas City. We got comebacks, overtime, everything. Some awards and how did this happen? We had some crazy games on Sunday, and I know chat will be rolling in soon. Cannot wait to see you guys in here. But once again, this is brought to you by Microsoft Copilot, who will be helping us in the show today, just like they help the NFL on the sidelines and in the draft process and the combine, all of it. Shout out to Microsoft for making this happen. But we've got action to talk about today. And if you guys have any questions in the chat, don't hesitate to lay them down. Some will pop up on screen, and we will make sure that we are dialed in with all the questions. Fantasy football playoffs heating up soon, all of that good stuff. So let's get this thing rolling, man. How about it? Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders and his debut. Okay. Shedeur Sanders got things started pretty hot, in my opinion. I know that he didn't have the best stats, but he had solid stats. Solid. And he got a win against a team that has also taken some other people down to the wire. But we got to see him get a little busy in the screen game. Obviously, a great play by his receiver here, getting busy, sliding out of there. But Shedeur, after 1 week of full practice as the starting quarterback, was able to show that he can operate an NFL offense and that he can get it done. And in my opinion, the Browns are probably, nice check down here, by the way, the Browns are probably going to be getting a new coach by the end of the year. In my opinion, Shedeur is auditioning for the new head coach, whoever that might be, and for teams that he might end up with down the line. But look, he made a great scramble play there. Should have been a touchdown pass. If he could have just kept his feet. He has his teammates, Rowdy. They are just joining around him. You see Papa Sanders over there. But 11 of 20, 200 yards passing, a touchdown. And the interception was honestly a really good play by the defensive end. They had a defensive end peel off the side, get back into the zone. It was a good read by him, but Shedeur was fine. Were the stats amazing? No. But he got it done, and he got a win on the road on a team, just like 31 other teams that passed up on him. And you can see a lot of people wanted to see me fail, and it ain't gonna happen. I love his confidence, and he did say some other things afterwards. He talked about not being able to be his true self while you're a backup because you don't want to step on people's toes, especially when there's Joe Flacco in front of you, there's Kenny Pickett in front of you at a point in time, there's Dylan Gabriel in front of you at a point in time. Shedeur really wasn't able to be himself. And we finally got to see him pop out, be himself. See chat rolling a little bit. Appreciate you guys being here, man. But what I loved out of Shedeur was that you were able to see part of what he can do. He can extend plays, throw downfield. He can be on time. He can be accurate. And he can check it down when he needs to. I'm seeing Evil Eye on YouTube, number 12 QB. Solid game for the future quarterback. I love it, man. And at the end of the day, he was a fifth-round draft pick with not a lot of opportunity throughout all of offseason, all of training camp, all of places where you're getting valuable reps to be better for the season. And he came in and he got a win in the National Football League, which is hard to do. I don't care how bad the Raiders are. Max Crosby's still on the other side of the field, and he still had to deal with him. And that Raiders defense, they have some problems on that defense for opposing quarterbacks. So I think that he pretty much had a good outing. Do you think Stefanski gets fired? I'm saying Klaus. I'm not sure. In my opinion, I am not sure, but Stefanski in general is on his last limb. And if you get another top 5 or top 10 draft pick, maybe new GM, maybe new situation, in my opinion, every quarterback right now, everybody on that Browns team is playing for a future of proving themselves, whether it be on the Browns or it be with another team. But Shedeur showed that he can operate. He made some plays down the field, he extended with his feet, and there's some quarterback needy teams, right? And every single season you see teams lose quarterbacks to injury, and now he showed that he can operate. So I'm looking at teams like the 49ers. They have Brock Purdy, but Mac Jones is probably going to be gone next year. Maybe they'll be looking for a backup. Maybe they like Shedeur in that system. I think he's a great fit for that system. Thought he was preseason. Then you also have teams like the Vikings. They're going to be looking for the quarterback of the future probably, unless J.J. McCarthy gets it figured out. And maybe there's a backup role for Shedeur there. Maybe someone believes in him enough to say, hey, he could be our starting quarterback. Who knows? All I'm saying is I really do like the fact that he came out there, he operated, he played as an extension of the game that we saw him play in college, and I liked seeing it. But we do have to ask Copilot a nice curious question. And I want to talk to co-pilot, which I already have it pre up here. Deion Sanders, okay? Deion Sanders, what did he do in his NFL debut? Now, he had an incredible career, obviously. But Deion Sanders, according to co-pilot, his NFL debut was electrifying. He returned a punt 68 yards for a touchdown in his very first game with the Falcons in 1989. That play single-handedly showcased the primetime flair that defined his career. Let's see what else we got. Say, didn't record an interception in the first start, but coverage skills were already evident. The punt return for a touchdown was the most memorable debuts in NFL history, cementing his reputation as a game changer from day one. Also, keep in mind that Sanders was drafted 5th overall in the draft. 5th overall. Incredible. Now, we can get to the playoff picture. All right. We've got to talk playoffs here. So, the playoff picture has changed drastically since last week, which we know we do the show every single Monday. We had a prediction last Monday that we'd see the Steelers fall out and the Ravens bump. And when you're looking at this AFC playoff picture, man, is it getting crazy across the board. Right now, you have the New England Patriots as the 1 seed, okay? Which maybe they'll solidify it for the long run, maybe they won't, but the Patriots are 1, the Broncos are 2. The Bills, man, dropping down, they're in 7th now. You have the Ravens jumping from not even in wildcard contention to 4th. You have the Colts who lost to the Chiefs, now at 3. Still at 3, they're ahead of their division. Jacksonville, though, they got a win. They're taking a bump up in the division. Jacksonville's sitting at 6th. And you have the Chargers at 5, who, in my opinion, the Chargers will be bumped out of this playoff race if they do not get it figured out. They are a team that started hot. They are dwindling away right now. And they've got a lot of injuries, especially up front, and they're having a hard time protecting Justin Herbert. They don't have many guys right now that can make impact plays, and that puts the Steelers in the hunt at 6-5 after a loss. They have the Texans in the hunt, 6-5. Defense is playing outstanding. The Chiefs, 6-5, get a nice win in overtime this past week. This is going to be a wild race, and I would not lie to you today. I think the Steelers, Texans, and Chiefs are all better than the Chargers, and the AFC wildcard spot is going to be an incredible race to the finish. Luckily, there's 3 spots, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. But we got to flip it back. Let's talk NFC. See, chat, that's literally why nobody thinks the Broncos are actually a team able to win a Super Bowl. Look, all I'm going to say is the Broncos defense is for real. But let's talk NFC. The Rams last night. I was doing a broadcast mock with NBC for the Madden cast coming up this Thursday. We have a broadcast we're doing with the Bengals and Ravens game. And we got to watch the Rams on the big screen, with the telecaster and all that good stuff. The Rams are for real. And the Bucks, if they are not careful, they've got Baker Mayfield, who's looking to be missing some time potentially. They have the Carolina Panthers, who played tonight against the Niners, but the Panthers are creeping in the right direction. I don't know, guys. This playoff picture, I think, is going to change. You have the Chicago Bears sitting at 3. You have the Packers at 6, who both are a game, if not a game and a half, ahead of the Lions in the division. And then you have the Eagles, who just lost. They're sitting at 2. The Niners play tonight at 7. The Niners are seemingly not going to be able to catch up in the NFC West race, but they're playing for a good wild card spot. And you have the Seahawks, who are also an incredible team, and the Bucks sitting at 4. Like, this NFC picture, guys, is incredible. You have the Lions not even in the playoff picture right now. The Lions. I would not be shocked to see someone down the stretch get bumped. The Cowboys are trending. They're 5-1. If they win out, which they very well can, they just beat the Eagles. They played the Eagles well earlier in the season. The Cowboys could potentially make it to the playoffs down the stretch. Now, the Lions are 7-4. They have the leg up, but this is the tough part. When you have divisional winners that get in, you have someone from the NFC South has to get in. No matter how bad and beaten up the Bucks are, no matter how bad the Panthers are, somebody. Camera's going a little bit crazy here. Shout out to my MacBook. But you have these teams right now that absolutely are in a dogfight, okay? The Panthers, they play tonight against the Niners. If they beat the Niners tonight, they're going to jump the spot in the division, and then the Bucks are going to be on the outside looking in. It is not out of question that the Bucks do not make it to the playoffs, guys. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Not to mention, we also have the Giants, first team officially eliminated from the playoffs, but I hope I hope for Giants fans out there that we get to see Jackson Dart throw a touchdown pass to Jameis Winston before the year's over. That would be the silver lining in all of this picture. But I like the Giants for the future. I like their young talent. I like their defensive line. And they had the Lions on the ropes. They should have won that game. If their defense didn't blow a lead, also their coach just got fired. Or their defensive coach just got fired. I love it. I absolutely love it. Give me more Giants football. I think New York football needs the Giants. They need Scatabo. They need Dart. And at this point, they need Jameis Winston on the roster, which I love it. But shout out again to Copilot for making this bad boy happen. We've got action all season long. We are breaking down plays all season. We're asking Copilot great questions that they're answering for AI. The same tool that the NFL uses on Sundays and throughout scouting for the year. Appreciate you guys so much. Now, we do have to move on. Let's talk about it. Let's go to AJ Brown, why don't we? And chat, if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them down. I'm seeing Shedeur in that Niner system would be great. Hey, your dad. Appreciate you coming through commenting. I would love to see Shedeur in the Niner system. Shedeur as a late pick to the Rams was one of my favorite landing spots. I don't think Shedeur is going to be with the Browns his whole career. Most people are not. I would not be shocked to see Shedeur land with either the 49ers, the Rams, or the Vikings with those three coaches at some point in his career because he's kind of one of those guys. I also wouldn't be shocked to see him backing up Jared Goff down the stretch because I think Shedeur in that offense could really operate. Also, Swift, Bears game against the Niners will be a win and in scenario. I like it. And not to mention, I made a tweet earlier this season about the Bears and Packers game in December being for who decides the NFC North. And I got ripped from Lions fans. What are you talking about? You don't know ball. These teams are for real. They are for real. And I'm not even just Packers homering right now at all. Eagles mistakes and penalties let the Cowboys off the hook and they came out flat. That's the Eagles though. That's the Eagles, man. The Eagles, think about some of the wins the Eagles have had this year. In my opinion, they got lucky against the Rams. One of the Rams' two losses came to the Eagles when they were up by like 14 or something in the fourth quarter. The Rams let them back into that game. It was pretty crazy. And then you had who else did they lose to? Well, obviously they just lost to the Cowboys, but I just and even their wins haven't been like convincing. Their offense hasn't looked good. They're just very beatable. There's a lot of very beatable teams in the NFL right now. If you do not show up on Sundays, doesn't matter. Anybody can win any week. But let's get this thing moving on. Let's talk about AJ Brown because now that we're on the Eagles, they got him the ball a little bit more. Got to check the stats. He had a decent game, and they came out firing. What, 21 points in the first half? I believe. We got to fact check this. You can see this now. Jalen Hurts dropped back. Nice little post route over top the hook defender. Like seeing this. Great placement. Really good catch by AJ Brown on a ball that was thrown slightly behind him, but it was nice to see him get a red zone target. It was nice to see him get a little bit excited to be a part of the game plan. But when you're looking at this game, the Eagles, 14 points in the first quarter, came out hot. 7 points in the second quarter, came out fine. Second half, no points. You have A.J. Brown, 10 targets, 8 receptions, 110 yards, 1 touchdown. This could be every single week. There's not a DB in the league that can consistently strap this man. And so I don't know what the whole game flow was on this game. I don't know why they stopped pushing the ball downfield, and I don't know why they got conservative with a lead against a division opponent, but I just look at this stat. Receiving touchdowns in the month of December. A.J. Brown 1, Jameis Winston 1. Gross. That is NFC East football if I've ever seen it. Gotta love me some Jameis Winston, man. Jameis Winston, I'm claiming him as my favorite quarterback in the NFL today. That is what I'm doing. He is my favorite quarterback in the NFL. I love watching him play. And we got to look at this Eagles, guys. Eagles schedule. So we know A.J. Brown can obviously be a part of the mix, but the Eagles right now are sitting at 8-3. Okay. They are first in the NFC East. Now let's fact check this. Who do they got the rest of the season? They've got the Bears this week, which is a home game for them. It's Friday. It's like the day after Thanksgiving, the Black Friday game. Then you have at the Chargers. Then you have the Raiders. They should win 2 of those 3 games. Then you have the Commanders who are beat up. Then they have the Bills in Buffalo. And then they have the Commanders. Like, the Eagles have a cakewalk season or cakewalk schedule for the rest of the season. If they do not get A.J. Brown involved leading into the playoffs, it's going to be hard to just flip the script and expect you're going to make plays when it matters most in the playoffs. Especially now, they're sitting as second in the NFC. If you're looking at the NFL standings, guys, like this is not an incredibly comfortable place for these people to be. You have the Rams at 9-2, you have the Seahawks at 8-3. If the Eagles lose another game, if they drop another game, they could find themselves into the second or third spot. Not to mention the Bears this next week, they're both 8-3. If the Bears win this game against the Eagles, the Bears will have a +1 game advantage plus a tiebreaker on the Eagles for a wild or for a seeding slot. I'm just saying, guys. I am just saying this is tough. This is tough for the Eagles. And even though they have a cakewalk schedule, they've got to win every single game, in my opinion, to get to the spot they need to be. But let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs after we get to this chat. Let's see. When the tush push is finally banned, the Eagles are going to be in big trouble. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't see a Super Bowl team out of the Eagles. And if they win a Super Bowl this year, it is what it is. I'll say that I was wrong, but I'm not seeing a Super Bowl team right now. I'm seeing other teams that they got the juice right now. Kansas City, comeback win in overtime at home. The masterful situational football by the Chiefs. And I was just with Tyrann Mathieu last night, who won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Okay. One of the things he said about Andy Reid is that we're losing, we're lagging a little bit. Hold up. Check that hotel Wi-Fi. We're good. One thing Tyrann Mathieu said about the Chiefs was that situational football was for real for them. Their practices were for real. Andy Reid didn't play at practice. They practiced their behinds off, keep it PG here, and situational football, compared to anywhere else he's ever played, which Tyrann had a 10 or 12-year career, he played in a lot of different places. They took it more serious than anywhere else, and that is why they're consistently, when the game's on the line, in a spot where they typically are the ones playing situationally better, managing the clock, making sure they're the ones ending the game with the ball regardless. And you saw that in that win. Kansas City had a chance to score early, and they made sure they bled the clock so that the Colts would not get the ball back at the end of the game. And they did a masterful job of bleeding that clock. And even though they took it to overtime, they still navigated overtime better than them. The Chiefs are situational football masters, and if you give them a spot where the game is close at the end or tied, they just keep finding ways. And this is what happens, man. You get Mahomes on a little crosser. Rashee Rice just played his butt off last night. And he was playing through an injury. Mahomes navigating the scramble drill, finding a way to get the first down, in the red zone, climb the pocket, up and out. Nice job getting down, protecting the football. Great job here on a 2-point conversion to Rice to tie the game, or to get to a 3-point game. Then they kick a field goal to go to overtime, and then they kick the game-winning field goal in overtime. And the Chiefs, incredible job of stopping the run, guys. We have Jonathan Taylor, who has ran over so many teams, some good defenses too. And the Chiefs said, we are going to make Daniel Jones have to beat us through the air consistently in Arrowhead in the cold weather to lose this game. We're not losing this game on the ground. And that is situationally being ready, and then situationally throughout the game, adjusting however you need to. Had some fumbles, had some random stuff, interception. Doesn't matter. They mastered situational football. They got it done. And this Chiefs team is trending in the right direction. This Chiefs team, in my opinion, looks more ready for playoff football right now than they did last year. Last year, they didn't really get me excited. This is incredible. I love memes. Can we just do a segment of the show of just reacting to memes? I love this because the Chiefs are back, man. And the Chiefs this year are way more likable than the Chiefs of last year. Had to earn a little bit this year. Didn't have really anything go their way. And they're finding themselves right in the thick of it. They've got to fight their way into a wild card. And I promise you, this Chiefs team, if they make it to the playoffs, nobody's going to want to play them. Doesn't matter if they're road dogs. Doesn't matter if they don't get games in Kansas City. This team is a team that nobody's going to want to play against. And it's most likely going to have to be a wild card spot because the Broncos are running away with the West right now. But what's wrong with a little bit of a road dog syndrome? But, man, time's flying by today, guys. Time is flying by today. Let's talk about some awards. Some award predictions. Now, I got a text, it was either last night or this morning, about my MVP, my Offensive Player of the Year, and my Defensive Player of the Year considerations. I want to talk one MVP, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is playing incredible football right now. 30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 72% completion percentage. I'm going to round up. I'm not rounding down. I'm saying 72. And nearly 3,000 yards. And the thing is, in the red zone, guys, some of his red zone statistics, absolutely diabolical. He is playing the best football of his career right now. He's never been all pro, I believe. He's never won an MVP. This is the season. He is 37 years old, I believe, playing the best football of his life. And the Rams have a defense, too, that makes it even more fun because he can just go out there slinging it. Defense gets the ball back for him. They can go run it up again. This Rams team, in my opinion, is built for a Super Bowl run. They could have won the Super Bowl last year if they were able to get out of Philly alive. They got down to the 20-yard line, couldn't punch it in. A touchdown would have won that game and sealed it. And we never even would have seen Philly in the NFC Championship game. This year is the Rams on the NFC to lose. They have everything it takes. McVay is dialed in. Stafford is dialed in. They have Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. Defense, top 5 defense in the league. I believe bottom 30-ish defense in money spent. You want to talk about Moneyball? That is the Rams defense. So, that's my MVP, Matthew Stafford. But I do got to talk about my other players of the year. Give me not Jonathan Taylor for Offensive Player of the Year, although I think he's had an incredible season. Give me Jackson Smith-Njigba. Do you know what he's doing as a receiver and how hard it is? 1,300 yards on 80 receptions. That is just insanity. His yards per catch, yard per attempt, all of that stuff is diabolical. Number 1 receiver in fantasy football. Playing with Sam Darnold this year, who a lot of people wrote off, thought he was just Kevin O'Connell's guy, was written off by like 4 other teams. Vikings let him walk to replace him with J.J. McCarthy. Jackson Smith-Njigba is a problem. They let DK walk. They let Lockett walk. Week 12, 1,300 receiving yards. Broke the single season record for the Seahawks. You might be Madden cover type stuff with this. Can he have 2,000 receiving yards this year? Yeah, he can. He totally could. Needs to have some crazy games down the stretch, but he's built for it. He can get it done downfield. He can make contested catches. His rack is crazy. All of it. All of it. Jackson Smith-Njigba, in my opinion, needs to be in true consideration for Offensive Player of the Year. We've got to switch it over. Let's talk about my Defensive Player of the Year, Myles freaking Garrett. One of the few guys in the league that I just think might just be stuck on a team that he's going to be terrible on, but 18 sacks, he is going to shatter Michael Strahan's sack record, according to me. And according to Michael Strahan. I think it's 22 and a half. It's been safe for a while. He might break that in 2 weeks. He's got a crazy schedule coming up. Let's talk about his quarterbacks that he's going to play against to dial in this situation he's working with. Let's see. Myles Garrett, 3 sacks versus the Raiders, 18 in the season. Yeah, he needs 5 to get the record in 6 games. Let's talk real quick before we move on about the Browns' schedule, because we've got some quarterbacks on this schedule that are sack liabilities. We've got the 49ers next week. Brock Purdy, kind of tough, but I think he can get a few there, maybe 1. Then he's got the Titans. Cam Ward has shown he's elusive, but that Titans O-line is tough. You have the Bears, who Caleb Williams traditionally takes a decent bit of sacks. We'll see. He's been a little bit better down the stretch. You have the Bills, who Josh Allen, we know he loves holding on to the football. Then you get the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, who, if he gets somebody free, he's probably just going to fall down. He's at that point in his career. And then lastly, to top it off, you have the Bengals. One of the worst offensive lines in the league. One way or another, you're going to get Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco, who both take a ton of sacks. I'm just saying, guys, if we're talking on pace here, Myles Garrett might be looking at 25 to 30 sacks by the time this thing's all said and done. 25 to 30 sacks. Would not be shocked to see it. But before we get out of here, let's talk about my favorite play I saw of this week and how did it happen. Because when you have a head coach that gets fired, and you have a new guy that is the coach, who's the quarterback coach you've spent all season with, who's now calling plays, now doing all of this, this is what happens. Roll the tape. Maybe. We'll say we're working through some technical difficulties here. But, hold on, we're still holding. I'm going to kill time. Did you guys see Jameis Winston's receiving touchdown? And how he looked like modern-day Gronkowski. because that is what we're working on bringing up right now. But, toot, 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 toot. You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to freaking pull it up myself. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Let's go, baby. Look at Jameis Winston on the reverse pass. By the way, nice pocket presence and awareness there. Underthrown go ball, one of the best throws in football. Little boy into the end zone, left-handed lay. Jameis Winston had New York rolling until their defense blew a fourth quarter lead. However, I love this. How did this happen? When you have your quarterback coach take over for the guy that gets fired, starts calling plays, and Jameis Winston is such a likable guy. You know that Jameis Winston all season long has been saying, yo, look, if I get in, like this play, we got this reverse pass play, you better call it when I'm in. All I'm going to say is I would not be shocked to see Jameis Winston get some more burn, even if Jackson Dart is starting, which he will be. I love Jameis Winston. I love this Monday morning show. Thank you guys so much for bearing with us through some technical difficulties, through travel, through all this and that. We will be back in our normal operation this week. I have a fun broadcast I'm doing on Thanksgiving night. It's going to be incredible. We're going to be doing some Madden stuff, some cool stuff, maybe some Microsoft. Who knows? We'll see. But once again, thank you so much to Bleacher Report for making this happen. Thank you to Copilot and Microsoft for giving us everything we need to bring this show to life. I'm Kurt Ben Kurt. And that is a wrap.